So let's make some beef stroganoff today. So we got the rigatoni noodles, we got brown gravy, we got mushrooms, we got hamburger meat. Now I know beef stroganoff usually is made with like round steak or cube steak or something like that, but the kids don't always eat that. So we're going to make it our own way as we always do. It's delicious. So let's get started. So we're going to get our pot going for the meat. Nice medium heat. We're going to get that nice and hot. Just a drizzle of olive oil. Yes. Boom! Throw the meat in there. Start getting that all chopped up nicely. Now, with beef stroganoff, it is okay to have some bigger chunks of meat. You don't have to get it really fine like taco meat or anything like that. So as you're kind of chopping it up and grounding it up, then it is okay to have the bigger chunks in there. No problem with that. I do season the meat a little bit, even though it is for beef stroganoff. So I'm going to use a little bit of butt rub. We got this in South Carolina. Amazing stuff. Now, preparing for the mushrooms. Get a pan. Throw some butter in it, a lot of butter, that way it melts nicely. We're going to season the butter with a little bit of garlic salt and a little bit of pepper. And then just kind of move that around a little bit. This is smelling amazing. Got the meat going, which is turning out great. And then we're going to do one of these containers here of mushrooms that are washed. Throw those in. And how about a second one? Yeah. Now we're going to let those kind of soak in that hot butter a little bit there. We're going to stir our meat, which is doing very well. I have not started the noodles yet because I like to get this stuff here done first. That way the meat can kind of still simmer with the mushrooms in it. Throw some gravy in there. Let that kind of all soak and coagulate a little bit. Then you cook your noodles. It's like a steak. You know, as soon as you're done, you got to let it sit for a little bit before you just dive right into it. That way it keeps cooking, and it turns out great. Got our mushrooms. I know this is like a very unhealthy way to make beef stroganoff. You shouldn't even call it beef stroganoff, but that's how we like it. That's how we make it. It's delicious. Oh, one of my favorites. And like I said, I like it with rigatoni. Everybody else seems to like that too. I don't know what noodles it actually goes with, but rigatoni works great. If you think for a minute that I'm going to be dumping these mushrooms with all that butter into this beef stroganoff, you are wrong. Seriously, you're wrong. I'm actually going to drain them because a lot of that butter and the butter flavor is going to get absorbed into the mushroom, and it's going to go perfectly with it once it's drained. Just run it through the strainer real quick, and there you go. It's going to have a lot of that butter flavor, but without all of this extra butter. Meat's just about done now, and like I said, the noodles will be happening here soon, and as soon as those are done, we're going to get all that stuff put together. That's when we do the gravy. Add a little bit of flour if you need to. I'm using 4 actually, not just 3. 4. I know they don't match brand-wise, but who cares? So we're going to do these after everything's said and done. Add a little bit of flour if we have to kind of thicken it up a little bit, and then it just goes on top of everything else. Give it a quick little stir, and then add some Parmesan cheese. Now we got our noodles going here. Got a little bit of oil in there so they don't stick to the pan. Add a little salt for flavor. So we got our gravy in here. All we got to do now is just add the water, bring it to a boil, stir it up. Like I said, if you got to add some flour to it to thicken it up, go for it. And this whole thing pairs nicely with King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. Oh, these are great. Whisk your gravy. Stir consistently. Not constantly, but consistently. 1 packet of gravy for 1 cup of cold water. Bring to a boil. And then it'll eventually thicken up and be delicious. After a couple of minutes, it'll turn into this right here. I got it on a low simmer right now. It is thickening up. It's thickening up very nice. And over here, we got this all put together here. So I'm going to reduce the heat on that. Gravy is just about done. We're going to throw it all together. And this is the final product. It's 2 pounds of hamburger meat, 2 containers of mushrooms, 4 packets of brown gravy, 1 box of rigatoni noodles. We'll add some Parmesan cheese, throw some butter on some King's Hawaiian buns, or rolls, whatever you want to call them. Dinner is served.